What is up, everybody on YouTube? This is Caden back with another video. Pretty much, I just want to go over. Well, first of all, thank you guys for watching my last video. If you watch me on Whatnot, I really appreciate you guys stopping in at the Whatnot show. But, anyways, today I'm just going over some good budget users and talking about some stuff I got coming up. So, the thing about budget knives is you got so many options, right? You can go buy a $70 case knife out of the hardware store, buy a Rough Rider, buy an old timer, old or new. You can go to an antique store and buy a knife. Here's the Rough Rider I've been carrying every now and again. This is that tough stag. It's like an Uncle Henry type of material. And this is a moose pattern, which I just think it's slick. I think it's kind of interesting. Little knife pattern. I made a boo-boo today, so don't mind that. But I just think it's an interesting pattern. I think it's a pretty looking knife. It's made in China. I don't care all that much. I think the reason why I'm okay with the Rough Rider is because they're owned by Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and I've went there my whole life getting knives and stuff. Here's another little knife I've been carrying, and this is your U.S. Classic right here. This is the Yellow Delrin case knife with the carbon steel blades. I put some gun blue on there to patina those blades, and this is a really just classic, nice pocket carry. Sits good in the pocket. It's gonna serve every purpose that you want to use it for. And for my whittlers out there, these are pretty decent whittling knives as well. That's a good one. I know you're probably looking at some of these like, man, that stag knife is not a budget option. And it's not. I just set it out there because I wanted to show how pretty it was. That's a pretty stag Stockman that I got. This is a stainless steel knife. And if anybody can tell me what that means, that SCC, put that down in the comments for me. I don't know anything. Sorry, I'm not meaning to bump that. I don't know anything about SCC knives. And I think this is like a whittling pattern, because that's not a spay blade, that's your little pen knife. But beautiful stag handles on that knife. And I'll show this one to show off what I was talking about buying a good user. And don't tell all my buyers on Whatnot, but I repinned this whole knife. It was in really bad shape when I got it. I'm actually gonna wipe it off because I'm proud of this, and I want to show it off for just a minute. I've been practicing on a few knives. Some of them have been total failures that have just had to be thrown in the trash bin. Some have been really good. This one turned out really, really good. The knife had a broken blade, so I just took that broken blade off and repinned the knife. And I did use what was it? I used a copper nickel pin for that, so you get a little discoloration there, but you got a good snap on the open, good lock open on that knife, and good snap on the close. And when I filed it down, I did a really good job. I didn't hit the Delrin, which is a lot more difficult than you would think. But I did not hit that Delrin, so I'm excited to run this one on my Whatnot. Somebody will have a really slick well put together knife, and I know that it's well put together because I put that one together. Look at that. No gaps. No gaps on that. That's carbon steel blades as well. We'll go over another little China one. We'll go over a little China budget knife. I've been carrying these little knives right here. These are Joy Rainin with the Damascus, fake Damascus blades, obviously. And I try to explain that to people when I even buy them. And they'll run them on their shows and they'll just say Damascus. But these are advertised as carbon cord. And you can see that dark line in the middle of that blade that goes all the way to the tip. And that is your carbon cord because it's a carbon steel knife. I don't know what they do here to make that pattern. But what I will say is this is beautiful, pretty abalone scales on that knife. You can see just how beautiful that is. And this is nickel silver bolsters. And that is real nickel silver. And they have stainless steel liners and a stainless steel back spring. No gaps, maybe a little gap somewhere. I can't really see it from here. But the cool thing about these knives is they're cheap and they get sharp and they stay sharp. But I was looking at some Bokers when I was over at the store the other day. The Bokers have the same blades. They had the same, it looked just like these blades on this knife. Like that fake Damascus. And I was like, why is Boker doing that? Boker is a German branded knife, but they did have the same blades on the Bokers and they were running $100 a pop. So come on my show, buy these knives. Don't buy your expensive Bokers that are made in the same factory as that knife is. Here's a sweet one I'll show you guys. This almost isn't budget. This is almost $100 piece right here. This is an old timer, USA made with the red bone saw cut scales. And I could pull these two little blades out. I'm gonna end up cutting myself again. But old timer USA, that's sweet. But you can see how thin those blades are. That's because they're made for whittling. These little blades are made for, that's your coping blade. You get a coping blade, you get a pin blade, and just beautiful red bone. Bear and Son, they did a great job on that red bone. I mean, if they just would have jigged that, it would look just like a case red bone. But I like the saw cut. I just bought the little trapper, the 94 pattern trapper. This is a 94 pattern. We'll go over this one real quick. This is another China piece. And this is actually the only China timer that I have. But I keep this China timer because I've had this one for about 15 years. My grandfather bought this knife for me about 15 years ago. And I still carry it even to this day. I mean, you can see how much I've sharpened it. You can look at how beat up it is. And it's just kept on going. And it's got the gun stock scales. That old timer badge. Sweet piece, man. I love it. I love this little knife. This is ultimate budget right here, guys. You see these knives, even though they just say Schrade on them, pick them up. The blade steel on these is the best you can get. Other than the USA made, of course. But these are worth the buy. Just to throw in your pocket and have every day and not worry about, those are the ones to buy. Love old timers. Here's a USA. And yeah, I know y'all see that little Uncle Henry back there. Show that one too. This is your 80T old timer. This one's never been used, carried, or sharpened. That's a good budget piece. Did I go over the price on that? I did not. This was about $26 when my grandpa bought it for me. But your new old timers at Tractor Supply running about 40 bucks. This knife is, I got it on a good deal, but this is about $100 knife because of how hard they are to find. Um, this is new old stock. I mean, it's literally never been sharpened. It's never been carried, never been used. I'm trying to keep that finger out of the video, but this is just beautiful knife, man. You don't find them like this very often. Just new old stock. I got the box and everything for that. I don't even know if I want to sell that one, but it's sweet. Sweet little budget knife. You can find some deals on those. You just gotta look for them. People get new old stock old timers all the time. People used to collect them. So those people give up on their collections. They pass on. And then you get an opportunity to have some museum pieces like that. And I hate that. I mean, I hate that you gotta buy knives from somebody who passed away, and it's kind of sad to think about it. You know, their families, instead of keeping their knives, they sell them. But things happen. I mean, some people don't have sons to pass their knives down to and stuff, and some people don't have family, and some people just don't want their knives no more. So, but here's a new old stock Uncle Henry, and this one is just beautiful, man. Never been used, never been carried, sharpened. Um, this one did not come with a box, but I got one over there in the pack, so I ain't worried about it. I got two of them, two brand new old stock Uncle Henrys, and I'll never open that. That one's got the sharpening stone in it over there. I'll show that. That's not a budget option. This is. I got that for 30 bucks. Show this without knocking all this crap. Look at that, guys. Have I shown this on here before? There's no way I have. But look at that. Uncle Henry guaranteed against loss for a year. You could drop your knife and call trade, and they'd send you another Uncle Henry. Doubt they'd send the stone. I wonder if that was just for the knife or for the stone. Bet it's in the fine print on the back. Love Uncle Henry's, man. This is a little bit of the higher end budget. This one is too. We'll go over that. There's a muskrat and a gray bone. You can find these gray bones for a good deal. I think they're slick little knives. I really do. I like them. I like a gray bone knife. I've got a couple of them. I'll probably just continue to buy more of them. Look at that. Oh gosh, I'm showing my finger. I'm sorry. But look at that. Beautiful knife. I haven't used this one yet. It's just been sitting around. I've just been appreciating it for what it is. But you can get these around 75 bucks. You go to the hardware store, they're going to be running about 110 bones. I did not mean to bump that. I'm not trying to. It's hard not to bump that thing. This is another higher end budget. It's expensive at the hardware store, but you can find them other places a little bit cheaper. That's your 75 pattern amber bone. 75 pattern is a good pattern to carry every day, use for work. And the build quality on these 75 patterns are a little bit better than some of the other knives. I've gotten a few trappers in the past that had some problems. I've gotten a few different stockmans that have had some little issues, but I have not got a 75 pattern that had an issue. And I've had a bunch of them in my hands. And this next one's a little bit special. I really like this knife. It's this one we're going to talk about. Go ahead and get my presentation going for this one. Try to do this without cutting my fingers off. Man, I really hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. I really enjoy doing them for you guys. And I'm almost forgetting to do that seahorse whittler. Show it, but I won't forget. I'm going to show you. Just want to show my little Congress. And this is my everyday carry. This is the knife that I pick up, and I don't go anywhere without this knife in my pocket. I love I like the orange on it. I'm not a Tennessee fan. I'm from Mississippi. I don't even look at orange the way that Alabama people look at orange. People who are from Alabama, they like to burn anything that's orange. I like the color orange. You got your X's on the bolster. And I mean, it's small. You can see my big old hand and this small little knife. But it does just about anything you want it to do. And it's got a good walk and talk, and that's hard to find on smaller knives. I like smaller knives, you guys. I can carry a big knife with me all day, and I do. When I'm at work, I carry one. But if I'm just around the house, this is what's going in my pocket before I grab any of these. I'm grabbing this. That's just the way I work. And I don't know if you can even consider this a budget knife, but I picked this one up for about 50 bucks. So it's a budget knife to me because of how cheap I got it. But in reality, should this be in the budget knife category? Probably not. But I know if I can find them on deals like that, I know that y'all can too. Look at that pretty knife right there. Oh gosh, almost cut my fingers off with that pretty wood. I mean, what am I talking about? Sorry. When you almost cut your fingers off, you start losing your mind for a second, but everything starts coming back, and I'm back now. That pretty blue bone scales with the red badge. You got that big, thick blade, Warncliffe blade, coping blade and pin blade for your whittling stuff, and just a beautiful little knife. And you should never mess with them like I do to show them. I have to show them in the videos. I want to show you guys the knife, and I don't want to show you guys my fingers, you know. So I gotta hold them funny sometimes, but y'all don't be doing the stuff that I do back at your house with these things, okay? I don't want to see anybody cut themselves. I cut myself on my finger from whittling. I was whittling on a piece of wood, and my knife started getting a little bit dull. And as I was working back on the piece, I just had a little spot that I wanted to get, and instead of stopping to sharpen my knife, I pulled on it and it slipped, and my blade went right into my finger. So y'all be careful with these. These are just tools, but they're dangerous little tools. That's a cool little Congress right there, that John Primble. Show that real quick. And I got some new Camillus stuff in right now that I really like. This little Camillus is pretty sweet. I'll show that. Where's that Camillus Trapper at? Show that Camillus Trapper. That's your John Primble Congress. This is a medium Congress. I had a large Congress here a couple weeks ago, but this thing is completely mint. Beautiful carbon steel blades. And I'm just going to show one blade. I don't want to open these big Congresses all the way up. A little blade rub on that, but this one sharpens up pretty good, and it's just a dandy little knife. This is what you'd see Pawpaw carrying around, you know? I like knives like that. I like Pawpaw knives. I also picked up this little Stag Peanut the other day. I'm pulling all my knives out to show you guys, and I know I said I'm going to do an individual video on each one of them, and I will, you know, what it's like to carry some of these different knives, but I just like showing them, man. Like that little Stag Peanut, is just beautiful, that red stag on there. Some of these are for sale, some of them are not. Not all the knives I'm showing are for sale. This is a little Camillus that I just got. I love a small Congress, man. Even if it's just a half Congress like that, that's the perfect size for a Congress. Fit down in your pocket. It's got the little man right there on it. Congressional district. Y'all know why these are called Congresses, huh? It's because when you pull the blades out and you bend them in, Congress knife. You see what I'm talking about? When you open these, you gotta be so careful. Anyways, when you pull the blades out, they meet up in the middle. That's why they're called Congress knives. But yeah, y'all be careful with these little knives. Put this one back up here. And that's a museum piece. That one has a box for it. It's hard to find these old Camilluses with boxes, dude. Check that one out. With the orange Stagolon handles. Never been used, carried, sharpened. This is just a good piece. Expensive, but good. Yeah, that's just a nice knife. And I know I'm not really covering everything completely as far as everyday carries. My point is here, okay, I know I'm ADHD, I'm showing all my knives. You have a lot of options to choose from. Whether you choose a trapper or a Congress or a single blade Barlow or anything. Just find something that you can enjoy. One thing I like to say, if you got a knife that your grandpa liked, you'll probably like it too. And none of my grandpas had that, but my grandpa carried this one. This is one of my favorite ones to carry. And I'm hoping that one day when I have a son, he'll want to carry one of these. Just something that Dad liked, you know. And one day I'm gonna have some really cool knives to pass down. As you can see, I have all these really cool pieces. Just keep that in mind when you're buying your stuff. What do you want to pass down to your kids? I mean, yeah, if I have one Rough Rider to pass down, that's okay. But if I have a full box of Rough Riders, I don't want to pass that down to my kids. You know what I mean? And maybe you do. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with Rough Riders. But I know one day when this box gets handed to my son or my grandson or my great grandson, they'll look in this box, and if they never looked in it before, I'm going to try to keep these knives a secret once I have all my kids and everything. When they get handed this box, and I got to maintain that also while trying to get them interested in knives. It's going to be difficult, but I don't want to show them all these. I want some of these to surprise them one day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want my son to see this knife. I want to hand my son. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I want to hand my son this knife when he's walking down the, aisle for graduation, or hand it to him the day that he gets married. You know what I mean? I don't want this to just be another knife to my kids, I don't know, man. It's just the way I think about things. That may change one day, but I know we're getting a little bit deeper than just everyday cheap pocket carries, but there's we live our lives. We go through all of our years. We have things that we pick up, all these little things like pocket knives and Zippos and sharpeners and um, even our hats, our wallets, and stuff like that. And then when we pass away, that's the only thing that we have to leave behind, you know. And the type of person that we were when we died, um, that's another big thing that leaves an impact on the world, you know. And you want your son, your daughter, your wife, your grandchildren, when they pick up this knife, you don't want them to just see a China timer. You want them to see granddad. You want them to see dad. Um, you know, you want your sister to see their brother. You know, um, that's another thing to consider when you're picking up a cheap everyday pocket carry. Because if you go to the hardware store and you buy a 99-cent knife out of the like the little checkout thing, you grab that, you stick that on the table, you can cut with that for a long time. But nobody's gonna think about that knife and when you're gone. And I don't say that to be deep or an asshole or anything like that. You know, I'm just saying, think about what you buy. Um, Try to put a little bit of tradition into the things that you buy, and try to educate people who are getting into these kind of things. If you're in the knife community, and just be kind to one another, be fair to one another. You know, it goes a little bit beyond pocket carries, but man, it's the truth. You know, so I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's 27 minutes long, but yeah, I mean, if you guys wouldn't mind, I said at the beginning of the video, I appreciate anybody who's watched my stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, interact, follow me on whatnot. Tell me what you like about my videos. Tell me what you don't like. Anyway, peace out. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.